This time I have a JVC BR-S411E. The E is a European model. It's a PAL system. I was told it just doesn't have sound, but once I get into this, I find it's got a lot more wrong with it than sound. It's got a servo problem. It's got a color problem. It's got a mono audio or linear audio problem, and only one channel of hi-fi actually has any sound. But worse than that, it's full of Elna caps. The complaint on this one is it has no sound. Now this is a PAL player, so I've got it loaded with a PAL tape, and I've got it connected to my stereo system and my PAL monitor. The client says that the picture works fine and that there's no sound. So let's play it. I've got a PAL tape here of the Wiggles. Well, I know the tape is good, and yet I have no picture. Just a blue screen. Looks like it's fading in and out of tracking. So I would say that the problem on this unit is far more serious than no audio. We have a drum servo error on here as well. That's pretty evident. First, you can hear it. If you listen to it, you can hear it hunting. So this is more than what the owner of it said. Maybe it had no picture, or maybe it had no sound the last time they tried to use it, and it sat around for another 5 years, but it definitely has more problems than no sound right now. Let's crack this one open and see if I can do anything. I don't have any service manuals or anything for this, and I do have a similar unit. I have the NTSC version that's got a professional camera attached to it that has a bunch of bad caps. Good chance that this is going to be full of bad caps too. If I switch the audio mode here to hi-fi, I get that out of one channel. Tracking. Doesn't sound very good. Okay. So first things first, we're going to pop the top off or pop the side off this thing. I remember when I got into mine and I kind of put it together because I thought, this thing's going to be just a pain in the ass to work on. And I can just see this one being a pain in the ass to work on. This may just be an estimate video on this. Gotta turn it back on. Bump the power switch there when I pull the side cover off. Oh, what do you know? It finally locked in. Not in color, it locked in black and white. There's no color. It says PAL on my monitor, but as you can see, there's no color. And my TV is detecting it as a PAL signal. If I disconnect, you'll see it'll say PAL. And no color. So, and of course now it has audio for hi-fi, nothing for normal. I'm only getting one channel on here too. And one channel, only putting out sound off one channel. If I plug the other one in here. So my cables are good. But, oh, this is going to be so much fun. I'm really looking forward to this piece of crap. The cables are really short here. I'm going to pull these boards out so that at least I can flip the panel aside and work on it. Just try and decide which one I should pull. Maybe this one. Then I can flip this. See, if I unplug this, it's going to shut off, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure if I unplug these cables, this thing's going to shut down. But if I unplug this one here, what happens? Okay, I can unplug. Of course, that one broke. Where did that come from? That came from this plug. This plug just broke in two. That pin's not supposed to come out of there. The whole plug is supposed to come out. The plastic snapped. The connector actually broke in two. Look at that. Holy crap. Unplugging the connector, the plastic actually broke on the connector. Wonderful. So I guess first things first, I'll have to glue back together that connector. It's not a critical one, it's just for the indicators like tape end and stuff. I think the counter information's on there too. So the unit will operate without it. So I put some crazy glue on here to glue this back together, whether it'll hold or not. Hopefully it does, and I can just stick the wire back in. Once it's glued, I can stick this back in, and hopefully it's going to work. But I got to get the side out of the way here because I need to be able to get into these boards. So I guess I'm going to have to remove the screws that hold this little board in and just swing that board out of the way. As I can't, I'm not going to try unplugging this one. I don't want another one of these stupid plugs to snap. That's the problem with all this old garbage, is that the plastics have all gotten really, really brittle, and you just look at them and they fall apart. So in this case, I'm going to pull this little circuit board out, get it out of the way so at least I can swing the board out. One day I'll actually get into working on the camera that I have and the recorder that I have, that I bought as a supposedly working unit, and got it home and found out that, well, both the camera and the recorder all have major issues, and it's one of these things that's just going to sit there for a while before I get to it, if I ever get to it. It's one of these projects where, yeah, if I've got nothing else better to do, then maybe I will look at it, but not in any real hurry to fix it. And believe me, I'm starting to take on the attitude now for a lot more of this stuff. Oh, great, I just turned it off. Turn it back on. Just get that out of the way. Alright, now, let's just see whether, with this cover out of the way, well, sort of out of the way. It's not really out of the way, but it's at least I can work on it. Let's see what else I can see what's wrong with this thing. Remove a couple screws here, and the bottom shield comes off. It looks like leakage here. It looks like capacitors have been leaking right here. You can see it on the board, and these are through-hole caps. See this? Can you see it? Are we going to get it in focus? We have leakage on this board. And of course this unit's got these composite ICs in it. My favorite, these, that you can't get, and they do fail. I still have no color. Oh, wait a minute, my color just actually kicked in. Probably because capacitors are starting to take a charge. And the color just kicked in on this thing. We do have sound off a hi-fi track. One channel anyway. Linear audio still has no sound. And linear audio is probably more important than hi-fi audio, because I would imagine that the owner of this unit probably is using it to try to copy tapes. And not every tape is going to have hi-fi sound. but it still should be processed on this board. This is the audio board. Give it the wet finger treatment. Okay, I hear sound. I hear something. Might be right in this area here. See, pictures come on now. I've got color. These are probably linear audio here, and the color's going away again. Lost color again. This has got multiple problems on it. C62, C65 are obviously leaking. We'll just try bridging a small cap over there and just see whether the cap's open. It might be something as simple as just a couple caps that are bad. And if that's the case, and I can get the sound working, this has got more problems. Well, the color's gone away again, so it's obviously going to be a lot more serious. And I think probably I'll end up having to just talk to the fellow that owns it and see what he wants to do, how much he's willing to spend on this thing, because it could be a relatively costly repair, especially if they start changing a whole whack of caps. And that's a real possibility because, well, it's JVC, and JVC had a whole bunch of bad caps in the early 80s, and not just surface mounted. These are through hole. They've all leaked. But I'd like to see if I can get sound back. See, the board could also be damaged. Just see if I bridge some caps here, whether the sound will magically come back. That would be nice. My big fear on this is it's not just a cap that's gone open, but what's happened is these are multi-layer boards. So there's internal traces on these boards, just like on cameras. And my biggest concern is that when you've got electrolytic that's leaked through the board and it's showing up on this side as corrosion, what's it done internal to the board? What's it done to these internal layers? You can see it's a multi-layer board. You can see the lamination for internal layers. So what's happened? Has it gotten into the board? And what happens when the electrolytic gets into the layers is it spreads out like it's a sponge. It wicks out, and it can eat away traces that are internal that make physical connections from one point to another, and damage the board. And that's why I don't like working on camcorders. When someone comes to me and they got a camcorder and the caps are bad, and they say, I want you to change out the caps, and I walk away from it saying, no, I won't do it, because I can get this thing working today, and 2 weeks later, or a week later, or a day later, something else breaks. You know, so I charge you a couple $100 to fix it, and all of a sudden you're mad because you used it twice and it broke with something else. And that's the real problem with working on this garbage, is that there's a real risk that it's going to act up again with the same or a different problem. This is to say this one now it's got no color again. The color came back for a bit, but the color's gone again if we look on the monitor. Right, there's no color. Now I had color for a few minutes, so it's all of a sudden gotten to be a much more complex problem than, oh, it's just got no sound. We've got no sound, we've got no linear audio, and we've got no color. Certainly in this area I can hear clicking and popping when I bridge some caps in this area here, so somewhere in here is where the fault is for the sound, for the linear audio. I'll fire up my scope and see if I see any audio in this area. And now you see my colors come back. It just faded back in. I'm looking for linear audio, haven't found any yet. The color is just flashing back and forth. This is the Dolby noise reduction chip. It's one of these stupid modules with components that are encapsulated on it. And I've got no sound. Like this would be processing the linear audio. So I'm looking at the pins on my scope, and I don't see any audio going in or coming out. In fact, all I see is noise. Like there's nothing that looks even remotely like audio. And this would only be processing the linear track. I hear nothing when I tap it with my finger, a wet finger. I hear nothing. I would expect to hear humming or something, but there's nothing. This little board down here, this is one of the FM subboards. Hi-fi audio. Hi-fi audio works.
I'm just trying to think of a song.
If I unplug
You know,
this,
you can sing songs
hi-fi will go away. That's the hi-fi process board.
about food, about driving in the car, about our friends.
No linear audio. Well, I'm not going to spend a lot more time on this right at the moment, just because the fact that we've got multiple problems on here, and it may very well be a lot more than the owner is willing to pay. And I just so happen that I have a multi-system PAL NTSC machine, which I don't need. That it might be a better option for him just to take my Iowa machine off my hands if he's needing a machine to play PAL tapes for converting tapes, rather than pour a whole bunch of money into this, because just from the multiple problems it's got with the no color, with the color that's intermittent. See, the color just came back on its own. But just due to the problems that this machine's got, it may not be. Oh. Something just loose. I mean, it had a servo problem when I first fired it up. The drum was hunting. You could hear it. That's rectified itself. Again, it's probably other caps that are leaking on this board. You get one of these that leaks, and you've got tons of them that leak. Elna, all these purple, like literally, you'd have to change out every single one of these Elna caps, because Elna were just horrible. Just ask anyone that had an SLV R5 how many Elna caps they had to change. They're terrible. That's why I haven't worked on mine. I took a look at mine and saw it, and I thought, nope, not working on this thing. I'll just put it up on the shelf as a display piece. It looks cool. I don't intend to use it. And I certainly don't intend to spend a lot of money to fix it. And that's what I would advise this guy to do, is maybe to walk away from this one. And then we got this plug that broke when I went to unplug it. That's glued back together. I'll put this pin back in, whether it's going to make a connection or not. It should. And we'll just put this thing together at this point. I couldn't recommend someone fixing a unit like this. I really couldn't recommend spending a pile of money on an old machine like this. And I know my trolls out there are going to say I can't fix it. Well, I can fix it. I can fix it. It's not a point of not being able to fix it. It's just a point of, it's a bad use of money to start pouring good money after bad into a machine like this. I know from my experience that you fix one thing and something else is going to happen. This was made at a time when, even though this would have been a very expensive machine, the camera and recorder was $12,000 for this recorder with a camera on it. The camera that I've got. I bought it for, well, the guy was asking $500 for it, and I said, you're not getting no $500 for it. And I think I picked it up for $100, and it was $100 wasted, because once I got into it and turned it on and realized it was just one thing after another. The recorder I've got doesn't work either, and the camera doesn't work. And even though I can fix it, I'm not going to. And I'm not doing it for myself, because I know that anything I do to it is going to be short-lived. I really don't have a need for a standard definition camera. I just picked it up because it looked cool. And when I bought it as a display piece. And if it had worked, that's even better. Like the Beta Cam that I picked up, which I got cheap as well. And it surprised me. It shows an error on the screen. Like when I turn it on, it shows an error, but it works. So I kind of got lucky because it's functional, but I didn't buy it as a piece to be functional. I bought it as a piece just to kind of show off, as like a piece of wall art to sit up on a shelf or on display, just because I think it looks cool. And I didn't really care that it worked or not when I got it. It does, but again, I'm not using it for anything. It's standard definition, and yeah, it's PAL, so it actually looks better than an NTSC standard definition camera. But it's still, the camera I'm shooting this on has a picture that's 20 times better, and it doesn't use tape. Anyway, before I close this off, I'm just going to throw this together and get a hold of the fellow. I'm going to grab my PAL player and make sure that it works, and then what I'll do is I'll offer him that, if he's, because I was going to sell it. It's a spare one that I've got. I've got two PAL VHS machines, and I don't really need them. I used to do a lot of PAL conversions back in the day. You don't see many PAL tapes anymore. I'm lucky if I see one tape a year, so I don't need two PAL VHS machines. I'm going to grab the other one I've got and we'll plug it in and make sure it still works. Well, I went to fire up the good old AWA Super Multi-Digital multi-system machine. It hasn't been run for, well, since the last time I demoed it for you guys. And it appears that it's shutting down. Well, so it's got a problem. It worked fine. The last time I used it, it worked fine. But it's not working now. So I don't know what's wrong with this. I guess I'll have to take a peek at this and see whether this one can be made to run. From the symptom, I would think maybe this take-up spool, because it's just been sitting for a while, might be a little bit stiff. Let's just see whether the take-up spool is okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. It's just been sitting a while, and I think what probably happened is the take-up spool just got a bit sticky. I mean, these ones do have a notorious gear that breaks on them, but it hasn't on this. These white gears tend to turn yellow and just fall apart. I got another one that's what's happened on. But it doesn't appear to be the case here. Let's just see whether it will. Let's see if it'll fast forward and rewind. So it's moving. Rewind. Okay. Maybe it'll play. There it goes. There, the tracking just kicked in. Auto tracking, and it plays, and it's a PAL tape. This one here actually can convert to NTSC. It doesn't do a great job. The NTSC on these ones is pretty choppy, but as a straight through player, like when they were sold as machines that could convert. And they can. It's just the converter on these were just, it was always subpar, and on a digital TV it looks even worse. As a native output PAL, it looks fine. I originally bought 2 of these machines. When they first came out, they were, I think, $500 a piece. They weren't cheap. They were expensive for what they were for a mono machine. It records and plays PAL. It'll play back and record MEC cam, and of course NTSC. And I used to use them for conversion. That was because the AGW1 was just out of reach. But they're not bad mechanisms. You know, I think there's the same mechanism that Sony used on a lot of them. It was IWA, right? But it's all metal, right? There's not a lot of plastic in these, so they're not bad mechanisms. It will locate the remote for it. It works. It will adjust the tracking. All functions work on it. You can change the system too. All this will screw things up. Put it in NTSC. Anyway, yeah, this one's good. So I'm going to just let the fellow know on the other one that a much better use of his money would be to replace the machine rather than to try to fix that one with all that's wrong with it. Anyway, thanks for watching.